I'm currently setting up another rack of 120s, but I have to be honest, I cannot stop thinking about the fish that I want to add to this aquarium. But you see, this could arguably be the most meaningful fish that I've purchased in the past 10 years. Enough talk, let's just go. My local fish store is not really that local. I do have to drive 45 minutes to get here, but it is the closest one to me. And it just so happens to be the best fish store in Atlantic, Canada by far, and you guys gotta know it by now. One fish, two fish. But I'm here for a specific fish, and last time I was here, they were here. Let's see if they still are. Uaru. Yes, uaru. Uaru amphicanthoids specifically. For those that are not familiar with this fish, let me tell you a quick story. Well, you see, about 10 years ago, when I was creating this channel, I was sitting there and I looked over to my 90-gallon aquarium. It was a corner bow front, and I seen my uaru in there, and I tried uarujoey, and it worked. You know, as they say, the rest is kind of history, but that's enough of a sob story. Back to the store. But why uaru? Such a dull and arguably a boring and even ugly fish compared to the vast variety of truly beautiful cichlids. Well, they're not that ugly. It's the type of fish that you kind of come to after you've kept everything, but man, are they ever an interesting fish. Let me explain. You see, at around this size, they go through almost like a camouflage type period where they're starting to get a little bit of adult coloration, but the smaller ones, as you can see, almost look like a leaf, or they would camouflage really well in some foliage in the water to some extent. As they grow, they start to lose this, and they go through an amazing transformation where their body turns almost solid olive or gray or even sometimes brown. Kind of depends on the locality that the fish came from. And they get this large black blotch down the side of them. Absolutely contrasts beautifully. Which is actually where they get their common name, the triangle cichlid, or the poor man's discus. And the poor man's discus is for a number of reasons. Let me explain that. You see, these guys also come from the same area as discus. In fact, they're commonly found around them, which indicates that a lot of what uaru need, discus need as well. For example, the water parameters. These guys can be, enjoy slightly warmer water, soft, a lower pH, and of course, pristine water quality. But they're not that difficult to keep. With that said, though, they can be skittish, and if you don't give them what they need, especially their diet, they're going to be in for some trouble. But that's not truly why they're called the poor man's discus. You see, the number one thing they have in common with discus is how they breed. These guys too are an egg layer. They'll lay sticky eggs or adhesive eggs to a surface. A lot of the times they'll lay it to a cone or the side of the aquarium, or really a smooth rock, anything that has a flat surface. But here's where it gets interesting. Discus feed their young off the mucus secreted from their bodies, a nutritional value to it. And only 3 fish in the world do that. One is a chromide, one is the discus, and one is the uaru. Absolutely amazing to witness. I've done it myself before, and it's truly something that I think everybody should experience just because it's so unique in the fish world. And one more thing. When we talk about uaru, the pronunciation, now that you've heard it, is uaru, spelled U-A-R-U, pronounced W-A-R-O-O. So, uarujoey. But now we have a big problem, you see. Now that I'm here, I can't possibly bring myself just to buy uaru. Let's see, I don't really need salt water. There's some African cichlids here, some Malawi, we even have some peacocks. Not here for either one of those. I actually have those on the way, but look at these guys. Remember when I was telling you about duboisi, Tropheus duboisi? This is what they look like as juveniles. All black with those tiny little white dots. Then they go through that transformation. Their body stays relatively dark, but their faces turn blue, almost like a electric blue face, as well as, depending on the variant of duboisi, they'll get like a white stripe or a yellow stripe down their body, down the middle of it, but it's a very thin stripe. However, beautiful fish, and these are one of the most affordable. So if you're looking into getting into Tropheus, these guys are great to start out with, simply because they have all the awesome traits of Tropheus. they are a relatively simple trophius to keep. Plus, you get all that transformation out of them that we really enjoy. Now, I've seen somebody down here that I must have. Let me see here. Look, piranhas. I've told you guys before, these guys are little baby piranha. Piranha were the first fish I ever kept. That said, though, I'm looking at this guy down here. Where is he? That is a Bisher, or Biker, or Bashir, or however you want to pronounce it. It's an ornate Bisher. I definitely want him for the 2000. He's a nice size at this point, so he'll get along well with the rays. He is a bottom dweller. We'll think about him. He'll have to go into quarantine for a little bit, but I don't know. I'll make up my mind before we leave, but he's a great size. He's one of the best, more colorful Bishers that you can get, and this guy's looking great. Very active, great coloration, nice and fat. I need him. Now, when it comes to the Uaru tank, I'm certainly going to aquascape it. However, there can't be any plants because, unlike discus, Uaru will eat the plant. So we'll have to hardscape it using some wood and whatnot, and maybe we can try some, some hardy plants like anubias and whatnot. But one of the things that I used to love doing with my Uaru is dropping in a, ooh, aren't these pretty? I always had love for gouramis. This is what happens when I come into a pet store. Can't focus. I used to drop in take a little clip. It was actually a chip bag clip, and I would put it on the side of my tank and have a piece of romaine lettuce, and the Uaru would just go nuts. I'm looking forward to that again. They're like little vegetarian piranhas when it comes to that. Let's give the Arowana some love here. This is just a silver. A lot of people start out with Arowana with this fish, but this guy is going to grow into a massive 4-foot long beast. Going to need a pretty big tank. My preference is down here with the Asians. He's got 3 different types of Asian Arowana. I'm absolutely surprised they're still here. If I keep coming here and they're still here, this guy right here, this guy's a Panda Crossback Supreme. I need to have him. But unlike the silvers, who will cost you less than $100, these guys go for a tremendous amount more. So he's about $1,800. We've got a Murli Emerald Snakeskin. This guy's $2,750, so $2,750. These guys are quite rare in the hobby, somewhat relatively new. Not a lot of people are keeping them, but as they're adults, they're stunning. And this is actually the exact fish that I have at home. This is a Murli Ultimate Blood Red Asian Arowana. Oh, maybe I get him. We'll call it a him so that mine has a boyfriend. Now, these reds are never red at first. It's a type of Asian Arowana that takes forever to show its true coloration, a couple of years. But once they do, oh boy, you'll see why they are the most sought after type of Asian Arowana. All right, I gotta do what I came for. Find something to go with the Uaru. Worst case, isn't he cute? Frank's better. But yeah, so worst case scenario, I get a little bit more patient, just pick up the Uaru until I can find something that I want to go with them. I was thinking some festivums or flag cichlids to go with them. I don't see any here. They were here a little while ago, but if you guys seen those, you would see why. They're often found in the wild with discus and Uaru as well, so that would go perfect with him. And even though they grow to be a pretty big cichlid, you know, about 10 inches when they're full grown, maybe even 12, almost like an Oscar type of thing, they won't eat smaller fish ever. So you could put in tetras and whatnot with them as well. Check out this little green tear here. Pretty though. Pretty cute. Got some really nice discus in here as well. They're so little. In one of the 120s, I'm going to do like a nano style tank with tons of tiny, tiny little fish. I'd love to have these guys in it. So a little bit of a problem. I don't really see anything that I'd want to put in with the Uaru. So I will get the Uaru today, and then over the course of the next couple of weeks, I'll try to source something that's going to get along well with them and that's going to complement them as well. And you know, we'll kind of go from there. I don't want to get something just to get something. I want it to be exactly what I want to get, and not be too impulsive, because I'm definitely known for being slightly impulsive here. Jeff's also got these two sharks in here in one of his saltwater displays. Neither one of them have names, and that's just not right. So I'm going to name them Tom and Jerry. All right, so I kind of made my mind up on fish. I'm going to go with 10 Waru. Now, 10 Waru in a 120-gallon tank is far too many, but it's also going to allow me to grow them out, select the best, but most importantly, select the proper male to female ratio. Ideally, I'll be able to end up with about 6 of them, maybe even 4, as well as a bunch of other smaller fish in that tank with them. But for the time being, I think 10 is going to be the best idea, since I am buying them at juvenile size. And then we're going to get this guy down here. So the Waru, the Bisher, some plants, and a few other little goodies. Oh, I need frozen foods too. But that's going to be it for today, I think. I'm going to head home. I'm going to put the Waru as well as the Bisher in quarantine. I'll work on getting the Waru tank set up, as well as sourcing other tank mates for them. I really want them to have something in there with them, as well as escape that tank. And depending on how well the Bisher does, we'll go ahead and add him to the 2,000-gallon tank soon. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. And if you're not subscribed to this channel yet, and you guys are as excited as I am about all of these new fish and setting up these tanks and want to see the overall outcome, make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any of them.